What's up guys, it's Jackbuzza, and today we're going to be taking a look at the top 5 exotic weapons in my opinion, specifically exotic primaries. In the recent mid-season patch, a ton of these weapons received large buffs, including auto rifles received a 25% buff, pulse rifles, hand cannons, and sidearms received a 20% buff, and scout rifles received a 15% buff. So, let's get into the top 5 exotic primaries post-buff. Starting with number 5, the Sweet Business. After receiving a 25% buff, the Sweet Business means business. Because of its already insane fire rate and massive magazine size, it's able to basically delete enemies. Its only downside is the reload speed, so you'll want to pack some kinetic loader mods. If you're running a Titan, you can throw on the Actium War Rig and keep firing for even longer. Using surge mods to make this weapon even stronger, you'll be an unstoppable machine, or because you know how to hold down the trigger. Number 4, we have the Outbreak Perfected. Outbreak was once a boss DPS king. Now, while the Outbreak isn't as powerful as the DPS king it once was, the 20% pulse rifle buff has brought it back in line to be a strong contender for endgame content. If you're unfamiliar with the Outbreak, its perks allow you to create Siva nanites that, when attached to enemies, allow you to deal even more damage to them. The Catalyst furthers this nanite capability by creating more nanites when an infected target is defeated and increases their damage. Overall, the Outbreak is an excellent choice, not only because it deals insane amounts of damage, but also because it has great base stats and can be acquired by any player at the exotic archive in the tower. So newer players won't have to go farming and hope to drop it. Coming in at number 3, we have the Sunshot. If you like explosions, then you'll love the Sunshot, especially with Scorch-based builds. The Sunshot's explosions apply Scorch to targets. If a target dies to a Sunshot explosion, then they will explode, creating a chain reaction of deadly fireworks. The Sunshot has great base stats, and the Catalyst making those stats even better, bringing its range to a whopping 71. Its recoil direction is 100, meaning it goes completely vertical, so it is very easy to control. The Sunshot is a great standalone weapon for beginners, but its true potential lies within its ability to apply mass scorch to a large area. With Solar 3.0 fragments, you can combine these explosions with ignitions to clear through adds, and because the Sunshot explosion counts as weapon damage, the 20% buff to hand cannons has made this already great weapon even stronger. Almost at the end of the list now, the number 2 spot goes to the Trespasser. I did a dedicated video a few weeks ago about the Trespasser where I broke down the damage numbers. I definitely suggest you give that a watch, and I will leave it in the description for you. But the Trespasser takes the number 2 slot because even in the legendary campaign where you're locked 15 light under, the Trespasser's super burst ability is able to 1-burst all red bars and most orange bars, which is insane for a primary sidearm to be dealing that much damage. And because this super burst can be chained together as long as you kill an enemy with the burst, you'll have unlimited ammo, never needing to reload, and insane damage all rolled into one. If you haven't tried out the Trespasser, seriously, give it a go. Finally, the number 1 spot goes to the Quicksilver Storm. This is a fantastic weapon before the patch, and now it is absolutely insane. The grenade launcher firing mode is dealing as much damage as a heavy grenade launcher, and it has little to no self damage, so you won't have to worry about using it at close quarters. And the auto rifle firing mode is just as solid, with little to no recoil, decent damage, and micro rockets to add some burst damage. The Quicksilver Storm is an insane weapon that basically acts as both primary and special. The only downside to the Quicksilver Storm is it is currently unobtainable by anyone who doesn't have the deluxe edition of Nightfall, which is a bummer. But if you do have this weapon in your vault or collections, whip it out, give it a test trial in some of the activities, and if you want to use a Catalyst to its full potential, get a Strand Tangle build. You will not be sorry. And finally, we have an honorable mention, and that goes to the Revision 0. I'm giving this weapon an honorable mention because I haven't played around with it a lot, and if I'm being honest, I can't be bothered leveling it. However, it did receive a massive 75% buff to the heavy burst and 50% buff to the sniper firing mode. This weapon, even with the terrible perks I have on it, hits like a truck. If you can level this weapon and put some half decent perks on it, I'm sure it will be an absolute insane primary pulse rifle. And that's all for today's video. There were a ton of weapons that were buffed, so I can't obviously include all of them, but I hope you found this video enjoyable or helpful. And if you did, leave a like, comment, or even a cheeky sub. If you want to connect with me, the best place is on Twitter at Jackbuzza, or my Discord server. Both are linked in the description below. I'll see you in the next video, and as always, have a fantastic day.